Well, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today on Greer Chamber Live. Greer Chamber Live. It's a program that we started a couple weeks ago, and we're excited today to be hosting three Greer nonprofits that are really helping the community on this time of need, especially during COVID-19, when you're seeing a lot of increased need for the community. With us today is Martha from the Greer Soup Kitchen, Donnie with Community Ministries, and Caroline with Greer Relief. And I know, Caroline, you've been on a few of our calls. You kind of see how how this process works. I'll ask a few softball questions, and feel free to dive in with some of the answers or some of your comments that you have. But first, what I'll do is kick it off. And when you do answer the very first time, make sure you introduce yourself as well. So kind of that first question is really with COVID-19, with everything that's happening right now, what are some of the initiatives, some of the things that your nonprofit is doing for the community that's above and beyond what you normally do?
Okay, I'm happy to start. Well, for one, we have backed up and started with, we are focusing on our crisis. So our crisis assistance is food and financial assistance. Our food pantry is still going strong, and thankfully, Martha has been able to send us some food. Thank you again, Martha, for that. And others in the community have also been able to continue to bring us food donations. We have been able to go into some of the grocery stores, that is new, and been able to purchase some items. So thankfully our funding has been that has also been on our books to be able to purchase some food. We're able to stock our shelves again. And we're putting food orders together and getting them out. We have reduced our wait time for food orders from 3 months to 1 month. So instead of somebody having to come once every 3 months, they can actually come once a month for food orders. So if they came last month in February, they can actually come now to get food. So that is our food assistance. Our financial assistance, we have a special fund for financial assistance for COVID, for crisis. And our food already, let me back up again there. Food in March went up by 95%. So we doubled our food assistance, and it's going out the door very fast. Our financial assistance tripled. So with financial assistance, the process, we simplified it for COVID. So we're very simply just saying, okay, if you live in our service area, so we're still not serving Greenville and Spartanburg proper. We're still just serving that special little in-between area between Greenville and Spartanburg, because if we opened the floodgates of Greenville and Spartanburg, we would literally be out of money tomorrow. So we are still serving the greater Greer communities: Greer, Taylors, Duncan, Lyman, Welford, Inman, Landrum, and Startex. So just those communities in between Greenville and Spartanburg. But instead of them having to bring a lot of extra documentation, they are just needing to bring their bill, something showing that who they are, and filling out some basic information on the application. But everything's virtual. They can fill that information out without actually having to come into our office. They actually can do everything without ever having set foot in our office one time. Case management and everything is done virtually. So all of that is done without ever setting foot here. If they need to come here, which some people still do not have the ability to do that. Some people still do not have a computer, that kind of thing at home. We do have that information available so that if they do come, they can pick that information up, the application itself, outside. We do have a drop box with DSS. People are still coming and dropping off that information as well. That is also available hard copy as well, and processing it that way. And then calling them, lots of calls, lots of phone calls, lots of talking to people on the phone, that type of thing, and verifying everything that way. But, and again, our numbers went up 300%. So It's just been hand over fist, we're trying to keep up. We're just trying to keep up with everything. Next is rent and trying to get additional funding in to try to help with rent. Most of that has been utilities for financial assistance. So next is really to try to do a big hit and push with rent assistance. That is a bigger ball to help because landlords, and that of course is a much harder, it's much harder to get to that information because you've got a little bit more personal touch to kind of work through with that kind of information to get from them. So, but yeah, that's how that has changed through this COVID-19. We have applied for additional funding through other sources. We've also applied through, of course, with the CARES grant and other things for our own funding. We're still operating. Thankfully, my team is safe, and so far we're healthy and still able to operate and come in and still able to do what we do. We also are talking right now, it's still very in the early phases, but we're talking about doing a few mobile pantries in the next coming as early as next week. Still reaching out to a couple sites. Looking at doing one in Sunnyside. I'm still looking for a site in Sunnyside, so if anybody's got some ideas. Dunbar was one of the ones, but they just took Dunbar as a site for the school district. So that's off the table at this point in time. And we're partnering with the Greer City Police to do that. So of course that will be a good partnership right there, and Loaves and Fishes. And also partnering 2 weeks from now for sure with the Eastside Y as a site for a mobile pantry. So that'll be happening not this next Friday or not next week, but the week following.
That's great. No, thank you so much for sharing that. And any of that type of information that you can share with us, we can get it out on our weekly e-blast, or we're doing like a lot of e-blasts, but any way we can help out. We
will be putting together, I've got a big press release I'm trying to put together with we are doing an updated service. Since the governor did do a stay-at-home order, we said we would be doing a big service push, trying to encourage people not to go out when he did do that. So we are going to have a service backup a little bit and try to say, okay, guys, we're not going to be open 5 days a week. We really want you to stay at home as much as possible. So we are going to be backing up our service hours a little bit and trying to encourage people to come just, a couple days a week. So just to try to concentrate concentrate the days that we're here and make the best of it, and keep my folks safe as well. So we'll be making a big press release and have all that available at that time.
And before I turn this over to Martha and Donnie, one more quick question. What are the biggest food donation needs that you would have if people were to drop off? Is there something you're lacking were they able to drop off?
Breakfast, rice, and meat.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck finding that. No, I'm kidding.
I know. That's the 3 things in the store that it's hard to find. I know.
Do you take frozen?
We do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
That's good. Okay. Well, great. Well, I'll turn this, Carolyn, thank you so much. I'll turn this over to Donnie or Martha if you want to just talk a little bit about, again, what it looks like doing business today during the COVID-19.
There you go. You got me unmuted. Thank you. I'll go ahead. I'm Donnie with Greer Community Ministries. Very similar to some of the things that Caroline is saying. We offer similar services, minus some of the things they do with the finances and some of the other things. But as far as the food goes, very similar thing. Our numbers haven't increased as much as what I heard her say, but we have seen an increase in the numbers, and I'm really suspecting in the next month or so it will even get worse as the economic things happen, whatever is going to happen with economic fallout. But we're in the same way preparing. We're grateful. People are still donating. People are generous, bringing things by. People are calling every day asking how they can help. What can they do to help us? So it's been awesome to see that. So that with our food pantry, we also have a huge closed closet And we decided a little while back, we're not operating that right now. That's really the only part of our ministry that's not functioning at all. We just felt it was best to be able to close that part down. However, if there are emergency needs, we can make arrangements to provide clothing if needed. But so then our Meals on Wheels is, of course, a huge part of what we do. And we're still serving over about 310, 311 meals a day. And we are still making those meals fresh every day. And we have wonderful volunteers who have stepped up to the plate, and we're able to do that. We've made some modifications as to how we're doing the delivery to make it very safe and basically contact free. And I think we're doing that in a very safe, healthy way. So we're going to continue that as long as we can. And again, volunteers, just unbelievable, the volunteers who are willing to do that. We're also prepared, we're trying to look ahead too and think, okay, if things get worse, what are the contingencies if we have to make some decisions to change some things. So we have in our freezer, we have 3 days worth of meals, and we're packing up now a 2-day supply of meals in case anything happens, that we immediately have a whole week's worth of food available to send out to our people at one time. That would give us time to continue to make adjustments and prepare for that. Our senior dining program is still functioning, but we're not gathering. We haven't been gathering, but they are being delivered meals. And we are making probably more contact with them than we did when they were gathering here. Bill is our director of the senior dining program. He's doing an awesome job, and with the help of other volunteers, people are getting phone calls and checkups every day. Same thing with our Meals on Wheels recipients. We have some phone calls and other things like that. As Caroline mentioned, just extra contact, keeping in touch with those folks, making sure that things are going well. We've done some similar things. I mean, we're applying for financial assistance through things that we have available to us. We've done the similar steps with certain grants and with some of the help that's available currently. But I've been encouraged by the community and how generous the community has been. And it's really neat to see how everybody's supporting what's going on. We also have, with Loaves and Fishes and some other people, we have on a daily basis items like bread, some canned goods and things that we have available outside, that there's nothing required. You don't need to check in. If you need some bread, whatever we have there is available for people to come and take. So if you're on your way home and you didn't get to get that loaf of bread for the spaghetti tonight, you can swing by and grab a loaf off the shelf.
That's funny. That was actually my follow-up question was, are you letting people in the building? Sounds like you're not, but you are putting things outside. Are you seeing the same clientele then come through, come to the outside? I don't know. How do you keep track of that? But I don't know if you.
Yeah, well, we keep track of it, and actually, with Greer Relief and us, we work well together in sharing a database to where we can also kind of see who's getting services where. It's not meant to deter anybody from getting help, but it does help us to see who's being helped. But yes, it's been, and the others probably know this too. Martha, when she says what's going on there, I imagine she'll probably see things that if people are not accustomed to needing help, some of those people may not know where to go. And so that's why I'm anticipating in the next month or so with some people who might find themselves in a situation that they didn't think they would be in. I think we're all going to see even more of an increase, in addition to some of the regular people that we see. We have limits on how often people can come here as well. But of course, we've laxed some of those standards, as Caroline mentioned, to make sure that the primary thing is to make sure we're meeting that need, and we're willing to do whatever we can to make that happen.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. Thank you for your comments. And I will turn this right over to Martha. The same question, really, what's happening at the soup kitchen? What are some things that you're doing differently during COVID-19? You will, I think you're muted. I don't know if I can unmute you. Okay, you're unmuted now, I think. I can see her. Martha, are you still there?
Am I there?
Yes.
Hello. Good grief. Okay. Okay. This is Martha with the Greer Soup Kitchen. We've only changed two things, them being our clients being in the building and our clients using the showers. We are now doing to-go boxes for anyone that comes through and needs them. There's a limit, one per person, but we're not kind of doing that. We're doing as many as they need. I can't, you know, when they were going through the line in the soup kitchen, they got to eat as much as they wanted to. And so now I want to try to keep that the same way. We're still picking up from Chick-fil-A. We're still picking up from Little Caesars, Andy's, frozen yogurt or frozen custard. We're still getting things from them. Those decided not to give for the next 3 months, and I totally understand. They're probably doing within house, and so that came from corporate. We miss them. We miss the fresh vegetables and the fresh fruit, but we totally understand, and we're making a way differently. The donations are coming in. The money is coming in. Our needs right now are to-go boxes, the tissue to go in the to-go boxes, and food, of course. We're still giving. We're still tithing each month to the different organizations. We did Operation Hope last month. We'll be doing Greer Relief this month to help her with utilities. And to my knowledge, she will get all of the tithe. So it won't be split up this time. The soup kitchen is run by a part-time person, and then I have volunteers. And so my volunteers have dropped because my volunteers are older. They're all retired, and their ages are 70 and over. I may have 100 out of the 600 volunteers that I have that are, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60. But other than that, they're all over the age of 65 because they're retired. Our hours are the same, 8 to 1. We're still open 7 days a week. We're still giving as much as we can. We leave the buggies out now so they can just go through the stuff, what they need and what they want, they can take it. I can't really, the calls are up, the needs are up. It was rare that I had to tell somebody where to go to a food bank. Now I'm getting that more often, or I'm just doing it myself. We're not a food bank, but we're acting as one right now when we know that we can help them and we've got the stuff that they need. A lot of people are calling me because they need stuff to do their food banks, and so we're supplying Washington, Operation Hope, of course, Greer Relief, and I'll be sending you some rice. You know, it's a God thing with us, it's a God thing with all of us, and so he's in charge, and we just let him be in charge at the soup kitchen. And I can't really say that we're hurting right now, but I feel like that our numbers will go up and the needs will go up once this all gets back to whatever normal is. I don't see us not doing this or stopping anytime soon. I feel like we'll be into September or October before we kind of go back to some normalcy, and so we're prepared for that. We had masks made for all of our clients and, all of our volunteers. And so we do glove up and do the social distancing when they're in line. We put those lines down yesterday. We had them down with tape, but we saw that we needed to put them down with paint, so one of our volunteers did that. I don't have a lot of change at the soup kitchen other than they're not coming in, and the donations for food and money hasn't changed. It's still coming in as normal. We're still business as usual, and I just accredit that to all the wonderful volunteers and the grace of God that it's still happening for the soup kitchen.
Martha, are your numbers still there? How many are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot more new faces where the regulars are staying home and the new faces do not know anything about us. And so it's kind of like, we're going to try these folks, see what their food's like. And we get repeat offenders every day. So they're coming back for more, which is a great thing. That's what we're there for. You know, we don't ask any questions.
Yep.
We just feed them. So it's a win-win.
Oh,
I'm not doing water. I'm not doing drinks because, quite frankly, I'm wanting them to get it and go, get off the campus. And so some do, some don't. I've got my hard heads, as you all do, as all of you do. And so I haven't had any fights, no need for the police. And I normally have a need for that probably once every 3 weeks, and I haven't had that, so that's been wonderful.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, regionally, do you know, are the other soup kitchens probably, they're operating, I'm sure, at a different level, but do you communicate with the other soup kitchens in our region, like maybe in like Spartanburg or in Greenville?
I'm sorry, David. I don't. I really don't. And that's probably really bad for me not to do that. I just look at Greer as our own unit and our own home, and I don't want to know what everybody else is doing, and that's probably bad management on my part, but I think every county, every city, every town is different, and so I kind of just worry about my peeps, and so they only come from Greer, Duncan, Lyman, Welford. I do have some that come from Spartanburg and Greenville because those soup kitchens can be, for a lack of word, mean, and it's just not a good situation. And so I've gotten a lot of people from those two areas because they're not as nice. And I'm not saying that we're nice all the time, but we do not do a ticket. Some of the soup kitchens get a ticket, and that's all you're going to get is one meal, where we let them go through the line as many times as they want to, and we let them choose what they want. It's like a buffet line. Well, it is a buffet line. And so the other soup kitchens are buffet, but they put it on your plate, and you don't have a choice, yes or no kind of thing. And so we're different, and it's probably bad that I don't go out and see, but I went to Spartanburg when I first started this 12 years ago, and she was very rude to me. I've never been back. So I just kind of read and do whatever. And yeah, we just do Greer.
Good. Oh, that's good.
We know that they're from other areas.
Yeah, what you do is incredible. So no, I appreciate the comments for sure. I do have a question that just came in. It says, well, it looks like it's for Caroline and Donnie. And Martha, feel free to answer as well. Are you offering any online resources like classes, Zoom meetings that you typically do in survey or in person? That you typically use your services in person?
Our service orientation, which is our how to get assistance, is offered by Zoom and on the phone. But we're not doing any of our preventative at this point in time because all of our staff resources is going to our 300% increase in our crisis program. So we're just trying to keep up with our financial assistance right now. And she has a stack that just keeps growing every day in people that need help. So we're just trying to keep up with that.
Great. And Donnie,
we're not doing anything. The services that we offer don't really with the Meals on Wheels and the senior dining and the food pantry, those are our clothing. Those are our main things. Those are not things that it really, that really doesn't apply as far as our services go.
Sure. Oh, great. The next question is, and you've answered most of these questions that I have, you've pretty much answered, so I'm just kind of skimming through. As far as and I talked a little bit about this earlier with Caroline, but as far as like bilingual or multilingual individuals that come in, are you seeing an influx in like Spanish speaking or other languages that are primary languages that are coming in to either the soup kitchen, or Donnie, are you seeing any increase in that? And same question to Caroline.
We're not seeing any increase other than the normal. So I haven't noticed that we've had any more than usual.
I've seen an increase.
Okay. I haven't seen anything specific to this crisis, so nothing increased specific to the crisis, but.
Did you say you have seen an increase, Martha?
She has.
I have, and it's normally workers. It's normally men, and you just kind of know that they're not working.
Wow.
Okay.
And is it the Latino, Hispanic speaking people, or
Yes.
Primarily? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, primarily.
I'll say I still have our normal main contacts are still the ones that are coming and getting their food, and still the ones reaching out for their assistance. So.
Thank you. And Martha, I had a question that said, could you speak to your volunteer needs again? It said I missed the numbers.
Right now, the volunteers are coming in 10 at a time. And so we're all gloved up, and we have our mask and the gloves and everything. And we even try to stay 6 feet apart while we're working. And so volunteers we don't need, but other needs that we have is canned salmon, to-go boxes, and the tissue to go in the to-go boxes and the picnic packs. Food's coming in, and so we just make it work, whatever's there. We just vamp it and revamp it, and there's all kinds of things that are coming in. I can't say who brought me in almost 4,000 to-go boxes yesterday, but it's a wonderful group, and they do a lot for our country. But she brought me in gloves and to-go boxes and coffee and all kinds of stuff. So she was a blessing. She came out of nowhere, but that's a God thing. So those are kind of our needs right now.
Great, excellent.
Because we're expecting David to do this for a while. I don't feel like that we'll be done with this in June or July.
Yeah, and that's why one of the things we want to get this program out there is we want to keep it aired. There's certain things that'll be relevant. This conversation will be relevant, as you said, probably in a month from now and 2 months from now. And any way that we can continue to help push that out. You guys are friends of the chamber. We have a network that we can get information out. And if you do see shortages in one way or the other, and needs in one way or the other, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. And we might not be able to help, but chances are we probably can get you the right person. So we appreciate everything that you're doing and what you're doing for the community. And with that, I just want to kind of end it. And if you want to each take a couple minutes and just speak to kind of the community today, and whether you want to talk about the COVID-19 or a story that came in or something, but I'll open it up. Donnie, I can start with you.
Just wide open, huh?
I may mute you though. I have that control there.
Oh shoot. Oh man. Oh gosh. Well, I guess there's so much. Again, I want to. I guess I would stay on the side of thinking what I mentioned. I've been so encouraged by everybody who's wanting to help. It really has been amazing to see. And there are some people who are not able to help right now, and that's understandable. But it's been, there's a lot of people out of work in the school system and that type. We've had so many people who have called and who are driving those Meals on Wheels routes for us, and that's been awesome. So one of the things that we've talked about here is that to make sure as we're looking at volunteers, and again, our organizations are different. We can use volunteers if anybody is looking for something to do, because especially driving those routes, we need to have we have a backup list of people in case somebody can't make it that day. People still need to be fed. So if people are available, even if they didn't know if they could be any kind of regular basis, we certainly could take their name and have them available to call and look ahead and include them on driving a route. So we certainly could use people in that way. And I think it's helping people. A lot of people that are not affected with the illness themselves, and they have to stay at home. Some people find it really refreshing to know that they can still contribute back to the community when they're used to doing things, and now they kind of had to stop. So it's really meeting a need on the volunteer side as well, for them to feel useful and helpful in the community. And so I'm encouraged by that, and just thankful to be a part of what we're doing, and appreciate working with Martha and Caroline. We're not far from each other distance wise, but there's a lot of need in this community, and I think between the three of us, I think we're doing a good job at helping to meet those needs.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for that. Caroline, I'll turn that over to you as well.
Okay. And to speak to volunteers, we too also lost most of our volunteers. Most of ours were either students or retirees. And we've retained a few of them that have still been able to stick it out with us and have come in and been able to help us still put together food orders. Our site is closed. We're still maintaining a closed site and still not having contact with the public, and making sure that the food orders, when they do go out, they go out with no contact. So when somebody comes in, we're making sure to wipe everything down and disinfect and all that kind of stuff. And yes, gloves and masks are very much the norm around here. So protection, making sure. So those volunteers, we are bringing in a few volunteers here and there as people feel safe and able to come in and help us out, mostly to work in the food pantry and put those together. So if somebody is called to do that, we would love to talk to them. Our volunteer coordinator is Kitty, and she's a volunteer at greerrelief.org. I know that's hard to hear. Somebody's background is really loud. We also, I wanted to say, have a program called Food Share that we partner with. Food Share has, right now, they have reduced their normal food boxes from a $15 to a $5 food box. And that's $5 either through SNAP or through cash. So anybody can participate in this program. Unfortunately, you do have to come here to do that. It is cash only. It is not something you can debit or sign up online, that type of thing. But we do have a sanitary station that you can, that is disinfected and all that. Had Jessica Monroe with, everybody downtown knows Jessica Monroe. So she came in this morning and signed up for 2 boxes. So this morning. So if you want to come down and participate in that, our next food delivery is going to be here in Greer at Greer Relief on April 22nd. So those boxes are delivered here and then distributed from there. And the boxes are worth about $35. So $5 for $35 worth of fresh produce. So it's a very, very much a good deal. And those are through Food Share Greenville and Mill Village. So Mill Village Farms. So if you want to participate in that or know of anybody through SNAP or otherwise, then come on down to Greer Relief and sign up for that. But volunteers, donations, all that. So please, and look out for the PSA coming soon for some other updated information on our service hours and other programs. So
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And I will turn this over to Martha.
I just want to thank the community. They are always so giving and so understanding when we're in need, and we could not do anything. I don't think any of us could do anything without them. And so I really just want to thank the city of Greer and all the people that continue to just give and give and give with no questions. And so volunteer-wise, I have decreased my numbers in volunteers because most of mine are retired. And so if you are looking for something to do, we have plenty to do in our pantry to get it organized, to know what we have, so we can send out more stuff to the agencies that need it if we don't. And so we're still feeding and meeting the public every day, but we're doing as best we can to glove and mask and stay our 6 feet distance. We're also doing the lunch buddies on the weekends for those children. And so those parents are coming and getting their meals for their kids until Greenville and Spartanburg County no longer does it. So we're feeding those on the weekends. And so that's been a blessing. But I really just want to say thank you to all of Greer and to all the surrounding areas of Greer for all your support and all your love to help us do what we're doing at the Greer Soup Kitchen.
Right, well, we really appreciate all the hard work that all 3 of your nonprofits are doing, and it's tireless, and we just want to thank you for everything that you're doing. With that, I'm going to end the Greer Chamber Live program, and thanks again for participating. We are going to get this out. We'll get this out to you so you can use it any way you'd like, and we also put it on our YouTube channel, so feel free to link it to there. And with that, don't hesitate to reach out to us for anything that we can help out from the Greer Chamber of Commerce. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.